Okay. Well, hello, it's me. I'm Chris. Today is my first video, so please enjoy. I am making Kentucky Burgoo. So right now I have some beef broth I'm making from a concentrate. I have some onions sweating and cooking in the soup pan here. I have a recipe I'm going by because I don't know this by heart. I've got some celery, some carrots, some garlic and so forth. I'm going to be using prime rib leftover from Christmas time that I'm going to use as the protein, the meat. Some potatoes, we got some beans and tomatoes, sauce. I'm trying to find some crushed tomato. We're also putting some chicken broth in too. So, anyway, I am, like I said, sweating the onions right here and putting that in. I'm about to add the carrots and the celery. I'm going to cut that up. So let me do that and I will be right back. Okay, now that's done. And I'm going to show you this recipe real quick here. This is what, you can't see it. Oh well. Anyway, basically, this is any protein you can use. Being Kentucky, it calls for squirrel, rabbit, and some pheasant, venison, type of stuff that you would find out in, the wilds of Kentucky and so forth. It's what they had to use back in the old days. They didn't have, they did what they had to do. So anyway, calls for some vegetable oil, some olive oil, 3-4 tablespoons in the pan. And what you want to do is then, get your 1 onion cut up and put in there. Calls for 2 ribs of celery, 2 carrots cut up, just like this. 5 cloves of garlic, which we'll put in. A quart of beef broth, a quart of chicken broth, some beans. You can do black beans, cannolis, cannellini, or you can do kidney beans. I'm going to do a mixture. Calls for crushed tomato sauce, but I don't have any, so we're going to use some sauce. And basically, some potatoes cut up. We're going to put some corn in there as well, some peas, and it calls for a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. And then if you want it hot, you can make it hot using Tabasco or your favorite, whatever, hot sauce. So anyway, I will be right back. I'm going to put this stuff in and get this going, and then we'll go from there. See you soon. Alright, so anyway, I've got the carrots and celery cooking up a little bit, getting soft in there. Got it about 5 on the oven there. I have just peeled my cloves. I gave them a nice crushing and a bit of a chop. So I'm going to stick those in. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit. We're going to brown these a little bit more. Put a little bit more olive oil in the pan there. And my trusty spoon. And get that going. You can kind of see the onions are nicely caramelized. Man, this is smelling really good too. That garlic. Oh, I love it. I love garlic. Anyway, so we'll let that cook a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut these potatoes up a little bit, so we got that to put in there. So basically, you just brown up your veggies, get that done. Once you get that done, then you want to pour in your chicken and beef broth, your tomatoes, any of the beans and so forth, and then put in your meat. Get that in there. Now I'm doing this a little different. Like I said, I've got meat already done. So you would have to, prepare whatever else you want to use. Squirrel, venison. You got to do that or prepare a beef roast or something, or cut up the meat prior to this. I'm doing this over a leftover. I did this once before and it turned out really, really good. So anyway, let me cut up the potatoes and we'll go from there. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, this is my way of doing things, guys. As you cook and go on, you're going to do stuff your own way and, you know, kind of redo recipes. So I'm going to put this stuff in first. Man, that's a nice little sound, isn't it? Nice little sizzle. Kind of deglaze that pan down there, man. I'm sorry about the camera angles and stuff, guys. I'm a one-person show here, and I'm not big enough to have a camera crew. So if you have any questions, or if you have any questions on ingredients or whatever, I can give you that. But it's just basic stuff that I'm doing. So anyway, got the beef broth going in. I'm getting that going, and then next will be my chicken broth. Now I used this, and this is pretty good. Better than bouillon. This stuff right here, and it's concentrated beef broth, pretty much. You just have to put it in water, and it turns out real good. Now we're going to use the College Inn chicken broth. Give that a nice shake. You don't want the stuff on the bottom. Just that's good stuff down there. That's just sitting down there that needs to stir up. Hang on it. I hate these things. Hold on a second here, guys. You know what? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to put my finger in there. Alright, here we go. Here goes the chicken broth. Let's stick that in there. There we go. Get all that goodness out of there. Liquid goodness. Digest. Okay, so I'm cutting the taters up. So I'm getting that done. I didn't want to burn the veggies, so that's why I put in the beef broth already. Anyway, that's going on right now. Got the veggies and the broths. I'm going to stick in the taters. I'm going to cut up the meat, and I'm going to get all this other goodness in there. We're going to make us some Kentucky Burgoo. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. I got the potatoes cut up there and there. I might cut up a little bit more. I've got a few more. I love these new potatoes type of things, these small ones. They got a nice sweet flavor to them. Even those redskins are beautiful potatoes. Anyway, I am going to cut up the meat right now, so let me get that butchered up and get that going. I'll put some of this other stuff. Calls for Worcestershire sauce too, the 1/4 cup, so I need to put that in as well. Give it a little tang. A little salt and pepper to taste after a while. But again, this is my first time doing this, guys, the video. So again, I apologize. I don't have a crew. I'm a one-man show at this point. Maybe sometime down the road I might get famous, and who knows, I might have my own show. But anyway, or at least somebody that could hold the camera for me and show everything I'm doing when I'm doing it, instead of bits and pieces. So I do apologize for that. So anyway, got my stuff in there soaking and getting nice and warm. Gonna cut up my potatoes again, get some more of that in there. I'm gonna do the meat. So I will be back in for you guys. I'm sorry, I just had to show you guys. Man, look at that fat on this prime rib. Look at that. That is nice. That's going to give it some nice flavor. I'll have to cut into this one. I'll show you that one in a minute. And but this is just the end piece. So, looking good so far. I am very excited about this. Look at the marbling in that meat. This is going to taste really good, guys. This is prime rib again. This is from Christmas time. Christmas Eve, we usually do prime rib as our dinner. And that's been going on maybe 5 years, I guess, now as a tradition. But always good to have leftovers, and this is something you can do with really a roast as well. So anyway, be back soon. Okay, we got the beef in there. I've got that cut up. I'm going to finish the potatoes. I'm going to get the beans and tomato sauce in there, in the Worcestershire, and then we'll let it cook for a while. Be back. Alright, so I got the Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. I put 1/3 of a cup in there. It calls for 1/4, but you know what? I have a little bit left. I might put more in there. I put in the beef. I put in the Worcestershire sauce. The tomato sauce as well. I got that in there. So right now I got that simmering in the pot, all in the big old jacuzzi there. And I'm going to put in the peas and the beans a little bit later. I'm going to let this simmer and so forth. So that's about it. I will see you guys in just a little bit after it simmers down, and then we'll finish her up. Thanks for watching. Alright, I put the peas in. Got that in there. It's looking good. Look at that color. Smells really good too. So I'm going to let that simmer a little bit, and then I'll put the corn and the beans in, and we're going to be good to go here in a little while. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I let that simmer for a while. I've added the peas and the corn. Got that in there. And I'm debating. It calls for black beans, but I got the cannellini beans, the cannellini, whatever you want to say. Kidney beans or black beans. So I'm debating on which ones to put in yet. I'm not sure. But anyway, guys, there it is. Look at that cornucopia of color. Let's give it a nice stir. You can see. Look at that. Look at that goodness in there. Cornucopia of color. Green, red, orange, yellow, white from the potato, brown from the meat. Oh, it's just, look at that. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. And, you know, probably what I'll do is I'll put on there what beans I put in at the end, because I don't want to keep my phone on pause and that kind of stuff till it's ready. So I'll just put that when I post this. I'll say what beans I used, and then you guys will figure out what I'm talking about at the end of this if you watch it. So anyway, that's Kentucky Burgoo. Again, salt and pepper to your liking. I like it a little bit more tangier, so you might want to add some more Worcestershire sauce. But anyway, again, this is my first video broadcast, and again, I am not a star, so I only one man show here, and no one to do the camera. I could have my kids do it, but they're not home right now. They're at school, so it's kind of hard for them to get out and do that, and usually they're doing something else when I'm cooking. So anyway, cooking is life. Remember that. It's always best to make your own food and pig out on that than all this processed stuff that they make. I mean, I used, you know, canned corn and canned peas and that kind of stuff. So it's a little processed, but